Folks, Mia Hargrove.
Hello everyone, my name is Mia Hargrove and I am the owner and therapist of Inspire Wellness Counseling. I am a psychotherapist and today we're just going to do a Q&A with a therapist. And so you guys can get a feel of who I am, what is therapy, and why I think it will be beneficial and change your life. And so I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, which is an Ivy League school, and I am saying that because people get it confused with Penn State. And those are two very, very different schools in the state of Pennsylvania. And so my background in education is a master's degree in social work with the emphasis of the clinical part, which is therapy. So all my training is in just therapy, sitting down, one-on-one counseling. And I have a private practice, and I particularly like to work best with teens, young adults, and women. And there is a very specific reason why. It's like all three groups are in a transition of their life where it's self-discovery, it's identity, and it's autonomy within themselves and in the world. And so the link between all of them is like the who am I, who am I, who am I? That's the constant question of who am I? And so with teens, it's just normal because they're teenagers. That's what the development of a teen. Young adults, they're launching away from their family of origin, whether it's college or moving out on their own for the first time or some kind of transition in between. And then with women, it's that I think women have a unique kind of like place in the world where women can do anything that they want. However, there's still a lot of social pressures to maybe move in a particular way that they're not exactly sure why they want to move in that way, and it really kind of is coming from messages from their environment, their community, family life, culture. So there's so many elements. And so sometimes women will end up in the later part of their life where they're dissatisfied or there's some major life changes where now they're kind of stuck and they're not quite sure what to do anymore. And so all of it, again, is the who am I, who am I, who am I, and self-discovery. However, on my website, I do talk about each group that I like to work with. That's therapy and symptoms of why maybe somebody might come to therapy is not exclusive to just those groups. So I do have a lot of male clients because everyone at maybe a moment in their life might struggle with anxiety or depression or become overwhelmed with whatever is kind of like happening in their life. Anybody can experience a sudden life change. Anybody can experience upheaval in a relationship. Anyone can experience maybe dissatisfaction in a career or a sudden job change, a death in their family, cancer, long-term illness, or just not being happy. And so trying to figure out what all of that looks like is a universal experience. And so I do have many, many other kinds of people in my practice. And so a question, how often do you suggest having a consultation session? If this means a coaching session from team, I'm not quite sure if exactly what the question means. Maybe like once a year that we can do a coaching session so you can kind of understand the benefits of therapy and how I feel the benefits could be for you, or maybe particular questions that you might have. And then how can you help us with examples of affirmations? This is a fun question. And so how I see affirmations is just changing the narrative or script that you have in your head about something that's maybe not helpful or that's possibly like negative. And so one example is that like if let's say you were passed up for a job promotion, and then internally you're just kind of feeling like, oh, I'm not worthy, or I suck, or like really, really strong and negative kind of like core values. The affirmation could be changed around is that I will work and the next promotion I will get. Like the promotion will be next time. I will change these like elements in my life and that's where I'll get. And so I like having clients that really, really struggle with self-doubt, a sense of value in themselves with making daily affirmations, coping cards, or just some kind of daily reminder of positive elements in their life and how to change like a negative thought into a more helpful positive thought. So that way they're learning how to remove a bad habit and replace it with a more positive habit, because that's kind of what happens a lot, that we're getting stuck with unhelpful negative habits. And so how young are your patients? I work with older teens and up. So I do not work with children. That's a different specialty. And if you have any questions, I can always refer you to a therapist that will work with kids. And how difficult was it to go through school? And did you ever want to quit? I thought my experience at the University of Pennsylvania was amazing. I would do it all over again. I thought it was really challenging, but challenging in a way that was good for me, challenging in a way that I looked forward to. And it wasn't just my professors that were incredibly challenging, it was my peers. My peers challenged me every single time I went to class. Every time I went to class, I knew I had to bring up my game, because I knew everything that they said, I knew I had to think about, I had to be thoughtful, and then I had to keep moving in a progressive way. And so the teachers and the professors were all guides for us to learn, but it was really, really my peers that really, I thought, challenged me as well. And the degree, told you the degree, it's, so the degree's in social work, but my license is a licensed clinical social worker. And how has being able to do virtual meetings changed your industry? That's a fun question, because now no one ever has an excuse not to see a therapist. Because before the traditional old school way, which I actually really, really love, because sitting in a room and doing therapy, the reason why I love that the best out of all the platforms is because there's an energy between me and the person that you cannot replicate doing like phone sessions or like video kind of chat sessions. In the room, you can really, really understand someone's body language. You can just, when they walk in, you can feel their energy, if they're excited to be there, if they're anxious, if they're holding a secret, or what's really going on. And so that is part of the therapeutic process. However, everyone's busy, super, super busy, and phone and video sessions have really, really expanded the opportunity to have therapy. So I have actually quite a few clients where they sit in the car and do a therapy session, driving home from work, or on a lunch break, they'll sit in their office, close the door, and then we'll have a therapy session. And so again, there's no excuse why you cannot have a therapy session anymore. And what's your worst client? I would say there is no worst client. I would say there could be some more challenging clients, and so that definitely has happened. I think that's probably fair to say for anybody in any kind of industry or business, you have more challenging clients. And what would you say to a partner that does not agree to see therapy? Well, if someone doesn't want to go to therapy, then they don't want to go to therapy. And so therapy is something that you have to have a desire to go, because if you go and you don't want to be there, it's a waste of everyone's time. Like, you're not going to learn, you're not open, and then you're just resisting everything that's happening. And so you'll leave with the impression of that therapy doesn't work. It's really that therapy is not working, is that you're not open. And so as a partner, all you can do is talk to your partner about the benefits of why you want to go to therapy. And then when they're open, hopefully they'll go. Yes, yes.
When you think about people out there that do like what we call coaching, life coaching.
Yeah.
How does that differ from what you do? I know they don't have to be licensed or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, what degree does that differ, or does it somewhat similar, or how would you kind of describe that? I
would say there could be some overlap. The specifics, I'm not sure. I heard that there are some certificates you can get as a life coach, but however, from my understanding, life coaches don't have the training that but from my understanding, life coaches, it's very specific and focused on like one task of like achievement in one area, or an accomplishment, that like a goal, very specific goal. However, when I think everyone struggles with some kind of internal anxiety, depression, or there's some kind of trauma from the past, there's always something there. So when they run across that, that's when it's a limit for them. And I think most life coaches know that that's beyond their scope of practice and will refer to a therapist. However, in my practice, my goal is always to improve overall health. So I use a holistic approach. So the overall health will be also more of those focused kind of goals as well too. That if we work on reducing the stress in your life, if we work on reducing whatever family or relational issues are going, then that will lead you to higher achievements in your performance at work or other areas. And so it's a combo of the two. And that's my 10 minutes. Thank you.